can see it in their faces.
That's awesome.
You can hear it in their voices.
Cassiopeia's Crown.
If kids are told they can, they do. It's a recipe for success. Teachers, educators, making a difference in very young lives. Just how they do it will amaze and inspire you. A CBS 2 special, a salute to our schools.
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation.
We have come here to Mount Vernon not because it's different from where you and I live. It's got wealth and not so.
Justice for all. My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty.
It's got neighborhoods that have changed. Chester Hills is now a mix of faces and races and nations. The town that gave us Dick Clark then gave us Felicia Rashad. And of course, earlier, Stuart Little.
From every mountainside, let freedom reign.
On this block lived E.B. White, you know, Charlotte's Web, Stuart Little. That house right there, single family back in the early 1900s. We're told in that house he met his little mouse friend, Stuart Little. Then the next day, went to school to tell everybody about it. That school, Lincoln Elementary. That was Lincoln then. In 1979, they got a brand new building and a brand new principal. Lincoln is why we've come to Mount Vernon.
I don't wish for lots of money.
When you're through, I'll help you with the rest.
That's awesome.
That's me.
Why do you want a castle?
So you could protect your people.
Excellent. Control your emotions. Don't get scared.
What would I be doing in a forest? I didn't know.
Where are the M&Ms in the budget?
There are no M&Ms in the budget.
How much does this cost? 50 cents.
Did the baby see the mommy?
Yes. Oh.
No, Mommy.
When she turns down the lights, it shows all the constellations.
Which is fairly cool.
Yeah, it is.
We came because Lincoln is different. And we wanted the recipe. So, Chad, what do you think it is, the ingredients or the cook?
I think it's the ingredients.
But the pizza doesn't make itself.
No.
So?
Maybe the chef.
It could be the chef.
I think it's both, because without both of them, you don't have a pizza.
I think she's making an analogy.
So what kind of character do you think Billy is? Alia.
I heard that word analogy in Mrs. Duraco's second grade writing class. More on that later. Anyway.
Good morning, boys and girls. Good morning, staff members.
There's your chef, homegrown in Mount Vernon. 23 years at the Lincoln Elementary helm. George Albano, not the shy and retiring type, not retiring, and never shy when it comes to blowing this Lincoln's horn.
This symbol indicates the state norm, and as you can see, in English language arts and mathematics, Lincoln School was way above the state norm. Lincoln School is the largest school in Mount Vernon. It's about 810 children. I would say about 40% are African American, 40% white, and the other 20% children from countries all over the world. It's a nice blend, and I think that's what makes the school so special. About 40% of our children are eligible for free lunch or reduced lunch. If you're eligible for free or reduced lunch, the family is considered in need.
And another thing, the State Education Commission recognized Lincoln
as one of the only schools in New York State where minority children, whether it be African American or Hispanic, and non-minority children, white, basically all scored equally high on a test. So in all academic areas, Lincoln School children outperformed most of the school districts in Westchester County.
And we're not talking about one of Westchester's rich districts,
Why does the egg appear to become weightless?
where about twice as much money gets spent per future scientist.
Jamal, it's time for...
Speech.
That's right. Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Jamal.
Hi, Ronnie.
How are you?
Fine.
So this was a Catholic school over here.
Yes.
So now it's got a different purpose.
Yes, we rent the space from the Archdiocese.
And when you talk about achievement in painfully small increments, you're talking about the only school in town with an autism program, so parents can be near their kids. Albano and his staff made that happen by renting unused Catholic school space across from the school.
This was a former nun's convent, and we converted it to a classroom or classrooms for autistic children.
What do you want to do? Can you show me? What?
Book.
Yeah, tell me in lots of words.
I want book.
Very good.
These children have a right to be educated in their community.
Tee-tee-ta, tee-tee-ta.
They have what they call a 1, 2, 4, or 5 ratio, which means 1 teacher, 2 to 3 aides to 5 or 6 children.
Tee-tee-ta, tee-tee-ta. Now what?
But if you insist on bean counting,
In the long run, we save the taxpayers close to $500,000.
by not sending the kids out of town for school.
This Jamal has got to steal a few hearts.
Yes, he does. He's come a long way, and the intense speech therapy that we give him, language development, psychological counseling, all have helped him to come a long way, and we're very proud of him.
Is that his mother, Jamal?
No.
No, that's not his mother.
Now I will read our New York State trivia questions.
You're watching an instance of stealth education. For them, it's fun. Fact is, the facts they will look up and answer tomorrow may well turn up on the state standards tests.
How many United States presidents were born in New York State? A, is it 2? B, is it 4? C, is it 10?
But we're researching that other question. What's the Lincoln recipe? If you ask Albano.
The teachers are the main ingredients.
Aha.
Did you get to see all the sides of the moon? Did you get to see them?
What side did we use? Did we use this side, the inches?
But how do you get them?
Centimeters. Very good.
Promise them a rose garden?
This is not a 9 to 3 job.
You know I'm staying after school today. You've heard me make the announcement that I stay after, Amanda. So if you want more time and if your parents allow you, come right here after school. Can work another hour.
Nobody that I know works as hard as we do.
He recruits them.
I discovered this teacher in a flower shop.
That's how.
He called me up over the summer and asked me to come in to interview, and we can't figure out how he got my resume.
I had told him of my interests, and he said, you know, Linda, with your background, I think you have a lot to offer.
Finding great teachers isn't easy. Know where you could find this one recently? Hint. Just like her students, she had to practice, practice, practice. Add teachers and simmer when the Lincoln Recipe returns. You're watching A Salute to Our Schools.
At Lincoln Elementary, classical music wafts from the PA system, in the hallways, even in the classrooms. The principal says it calms his customers. Teachers say it does the same for them. You probably heard that one that goes, those who can, do, and those who can't, teach. Whoever coined that one ought to try teaching for a year or 39.
What's the name of that place now? Named after him.
A GNC.
A GNC.
Because when teaching is done right,
You're going to make a winter landscape. You're making it only with paper, scissors, and glue.
teaching is an art. Dana Botnagar is a music teacher who moonlights. Some bosses aren't nuts about that. Hers is.
As you know, she recently performed at Carnegie Hall with her sister. 30 staff members attended that concert. And I think that's important for youngsters to find, especially in a city school, where they see people that they can aspire to possibly be an opera singer or possibly to be an engineer.
Lincoln's got one of those on staff, too. As for the opera singer,
As a professional singer, I get done with school at 3:10, go do my rehearsals, perform, and then the next day you get up and you go to school in the morning and you teach until 3 o'clock. So it's a wonderful life.
When you're listening to your teacher sing, what are you listening for?
We're listening for the tempo,
Yeah, anything else?
the directions,
The directions and?
the beat.
Give me a song to sing and I'll be happy as a king.
we weren't at the school's Christmas show, but Mr. Albano and Miss Botnagar were so proud of it, they ran through one of the numbers for us.
Voices singing, let's be jolly, dash and off with them.
Had a little problem there, huh?
Just a tiny little problem. Technical.
But you know what they say?
That's show business.
Or in this case, school business.
to shut the door so that we have nice and quiet.
So as not to interfere with Mr. Petrash's music pick for today.
Music that's a little more tropical to kind of contrast with the cold picture. Sounds kind of funny, but that's actually true. See, I'm cutting away everything that's not the branches. I was telling him, remove what's not the tree. So it's like thinking of the negative space. They're getting to think another way. And then, real easy, you got a tree. That's awesome. Way to go, Andre.
The praise is no accident.
Good job. Very good.
That, too, wafts through Lincoln Elementary's halls and classrooms.
Short O, what sound does it make? Ah, very good.
Good job.
Number 5, question.
Excellent, excellent. Very good, Hero.
Hey, there's a good snowflake. That's excellent.
The principal says if kids are told they can, they do. By the way, Mr. Albano says he recruited Mr. Petrash 23 years ago on a tip from what he calls his family educator network, 18 educators in the Albano family.
My brothers, my sister and their children, my 3 children.
You say Albano rings a bell?
My big brother. He's the only one not in the educational profession, is Captain Lou Albano.
But that's another story, though Brother Lou has visited Lincoln, as has Mount Vernon's Felicia Rashad.
She was a guest speaker at our graduation.
Role model guests.
What we need to come up with now is a name for your business. Now, who are you appealing to?
Role model teachers.
I was Director of Public Affairs when I retired.
After 32 years in the business world, Linda Linton blew the dust off that teaching certificate from 1981 and said to herself,
Well, now I can do what I want to do. I'm doing it and loving every minute of it. This is my 2nd year.
She told me the recruiters didn't exactly knock down her door, except for one.
He said, you know, Linda, with your background, I think you have a lot to offer.
6th graders flirting with a grown-up future.
So it's going to be Chris's grooming. It's just a guess. Was it Chris's idea?
Yes.
Chris? Okay, and you've got your cards.
Yes.
Do you have a slogan?
You tried the rest, now try the best. 18, 19, 20.
Actually, some of the best of Lincoln Elementary's yet to come. What do you do when a school wants to shoot for the stars and there's no space in the budget? You become as creative as the teachers and staff. You're watching A Salute to Our Schools, a CBS 2 special.
What happened every year?
At Lincoln, most teachers teach it all. We stopped by as Mrs. Anderson's 4th graders were shifting gears from history.
Right now, for our math lesson, we're going to do something called probability and statistics.
She's eligible for retirement. She's actually losing money by coming to work.
I'm here because I like being with 9-year-old children all day. I learn from them, and I like to share what I know. Come on, everybody. Each package weighs 47 grams. What else weighs 47 grams?
47 paper clips.
How do we know that?
Because the last time we did this, we figured out that a paper clip weighs 1 gram.
Speaking of math, where are the M&Ms in the budget?
There are no M&Ms in the budget. We write letters to companies.
17, 18, 19.
Can't you count vegetables or something?
Oh, I'm sure we could do that. I'll try that for the next one.
You can send the first 5.
Today's a science day where all we do is study about science and do projects.
Having their own blow-up planetarium wasn't in the budget either, but Principal Albano went after a $20,000 grant, and now Ms. Jaffe can take these 5th graders to the stars.
Okay, that's Cassiopeia, Andromeda, and Pegasus, and Perseus.
Everything is, as they say, interdisciplinary. Astrology, mythology.
Cassiopeia's crown.
That's a dollar.
Business, English. Isabella is from Brazil.
My ESL teachers came to me with an idea of opening up a little school supply store.
You have a dollar?
Kids get so much more comfortable, especially the new children. They're in culture shock when they first come.
When I came here, I couldn't speak English, so it was very hard to me because people was making fun of me because I didn't know how to speak English.
Has it turned out to be a good deal?
Yep.
Yep, she's got it down.
And look at how she starts off this story. Baroom, 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 barippity, barippity, barippity.
Maybe the next great American writer will come from Lincoln. And credit his second-grade teacher, Mrs. Duraco.
Whoa, I woke up. Where am I? I asked myself.
The handwriting may already be on the wall for Quentin Gilmore.
I smell vanilla icing.
So she has you use sense words. What are those?
When you touch, feel, smell, or hear.
And then you put it in your gingerbread story. Works, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was hard to tear my eyes away from the frosted chocolatey door.
E.B. White would really be proud of our children. Did you like gym class when you were a kid?
I hated it when I was a kid.
Problem with the engine, plane going down. Plane's in the water.
Is this physical fitness or is this?
It's a blend of everything. It's a physical fitness. It's teaching children how to control their emotions.
Push.
Teaching them how to figure out a strategy, be organized, and have fun.
PE teacher Frank Chusa says the game is called Survival of the Fittest. Insists he didn't steal it from TV either.
I just thought of it 2 days ago. What does it mean, the survival of the fittest? Does it mean that you're just physically fit?
No, it means that you're physically fit in the brain, and how strong you are, and in your emotion.
Perfect answer. Congratulations. You pick up the boat?
So that's what Lincoln teachers do when they're not doing a little extra.
Oh, good. You got them all right. That was 3.
Dads and moms are key ingredients. But after a long day's work, what makes them want to be in the mix? And what made a convert of this skeptic? When the Lincoln Recipe returns. You're watching A Salute to Our Schools.
And then I couldn't have anything that I wanted to eat anyways.
Yeah.
About the time the teachers are calling it a day, you'll meet another ingredient in this mix. They show up after hours.
And we need to raise monies up to $10,000 for the current year.
The PTA.
They get involved because of the success stories they've heard from their kids. Vincent Morgan is here because of his 4th grade son, Malik, and that chess program at Lincoln.
Make a move, everybody.
He came home all excited, telling me, Daddy, I know how to play chess. I'm like, no, you don't.
How many years have you been playing?
4 years.
Been playing 4 years. He's probably not watching. Do you ever beat your dad now?
Yes.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
He beat me about 6 months after he started.
The program is now 10 years old. About 3 years ago, a Connecticut benefactor who prefers to remain anonymous heard about Lincoln's chess success.
And this man donated so far $150,000 over the last 3 years to allow children to continue to learn this game.
And to learn critical thinking skills for life and for those state tests. All from a U.S. Chess Federation master, Peter Baust.
Why do you want to control the center?
So all the pieces are out to attack.
PTA supporter Carol Ruff is here because of the way Lincoln, as opposed to a previous school, has treated her daughter, Tibet, a 5th grader.
She has cancer. It's called a brain tumor.
There we go. Cool.
They give her confidence in herself where she thinks she can do more, and she's doing more.
What kind of beginning is that?
It's a grabber.
Stephanie Medzimar is here for Samir.
He couldn't wait to get to Mrs. Duraco's class, but he was like over the moon.
The house was as white as frosting.
It was as white as what?
Frosting.
What's that called when you do that?
A simile.
A simile. What grade are you in?
2nd.
Uh-huh.
5.
Did we mention reading? It's big at Lincoln. They do the book in a bag thing where kids get rewards for reading a certain number of books. Yes, sometimes the reward is pizza, and sometimes...
Are you taking a trip?
They get to be a weekly reader at Mr. Albano's weekly reading clutch.
Get out of there.
I can't get over the expression you used. Say that again. Did you hear that expression?
Yeah.
She didn't make it dull. She made it exciting. I want everyone to give yourself a pat on the shoulder.
Which is not to say there haven't been skeptics, including that new superintendent Mount Vernon got 4 years back, Dr. Ronald Ross, now an education fellow with the National Urban League.
I wasn't sure where he was coming from.
And based on what some were telling Dr. Ross,
He was at the top of the list of who should go.
but Ross decided to observe.
And we both basically didn't talk for about 3 months.
And after a while, I became convinced that he should be the one to stay.
The two would team up with approaches that saw Lincoln's and other Mount Vernon elementary school scores rise dramatically. Ross wrote a book about it. Albano is still at Lincoln. Oh, for the record,
And if you chose an answer of B, which means 4 U.S. presidents were born in New York State, you were correct. The answer is 4.
For tomorrow, class.
This gentleman lived in Hyde Park. He was elected president of the United States 4 times.
Nicole, what do you think it was?
Franklin Roosevelt.
I think you're right.
Clearly, something different happens at Lincoln Elementary. Whether it's Ms. Lombardi's 6th grade class annual study and recreation of Jane Eyre, or Don Mullen's exacting science experiments, or Ms. Coppola's weekly Jeopardy in Espanol for English speakers,
Categoría.
Meses.
Excelente.
or with former NASA engineer Mr. Nacarado, who can talk a class of almost teenagers into making like the planetary system.
Jupiter, I know you feel alone out here, but you've got a job to do, and you can keep doing that with your half-inch steps.
Clearly, something different happens here. So about the recipe.
The teachers are the main ingredients.
Mostly it's the principal, because a good teacher in a building where there isn't a good principal can't be the best.
Ask Michelle Rustin, a 5th grader, and the answer is elementary.
You need good educators, you need a good principal, and you need children that are willing to learn.
So it's kind of like the pizza deal, it's the whole package?
Yeah.
It's the whole package, Maury.
And like the package often says, great ingredients, and it's good for you.
Bye, Mr. Morey.
Bye-bye. This has been a CBS 2 special salute to our schools. Congratulations, Lincoln Elementary.